Hello, hello, and welcome to this special edition of Reading Like Rory, where we are walking and talking about books about walking. Enjoy.
Artists and writers have long been fascinated by the act of walking, both as a vehicle for storytelling and as a means for finding inspiration. Walking, though physical, is an intellectual and creative practice. Walking is flow. Walking is observation. Walking is rhythmic quiet. The concept of the literary walker is famously developed in the 19th century concept of the flaneur. Coined by poet Charles Baudelaire, this term refers to an inhabitant of the newly modern cities, in Baudelaire's case, Paris. The flaneur was more than a casual stroller. Baudelaire described a deliberate observer, a botanist of the sidewalk, who moved through the urban throng, both of it and separated from it. The flaneur embodied a unique form of engagement with the bustling energy of the industrialized city, a detached yet deeply interested spectator who turned anonymous faces, fleeting gestures, and everyday scenes into the raw material of art. In his essay, The Painter of Modern Life, Baudelaire writes that to be a flaneur is to be away from home, yet to feel oneself everywhere at home, to see the world, to be at the center of the world, and yet to remain hidden from the world. The spectator is a prince who everywhere rejoices in his incognito. I love that line. To be away from home, yet to feel oneself everywhere at home. While Baudelaire's flaneur was specifically fond of the urban environment, the concept resonates with other literary walkers. Geoffrey Chaucer, centuries before Baudelaire, used the pilgrimage in Canterbury Tales as a narrative frame, joining a long line of artistic traditions centered around the act of pilgrimage. And what is a pilgrimage, after all, if not a long walk? And yes, I know they ride horses, albeit slowly in Canterbury Tales, but I think that's an insignificant detail. The point is that in pilgrimage, the journey matters as much as the destination. A pilgrimage is about getting somewhere meaningful, but it's also about taking a long time and making a big effort to get there. The opening lines of the prologue to Canterbury Tales go something like this. When in April the sweet showers fall and pierce the drought of March to the root, and all the veins are bathed in liquor of such power as brings about the engendering of the flower, so nature pricks them and their heart engages. Then people long to go on pilgrimages. Here, the urge toward pilgrimage is as much a part of nature as the season of spring itself. Even if what may be interpreted as a purely spiritual behavior, the act of religious pilgrimage, the pilgrims are driven by their animal nature to move. Yet their journey also spurs their creativity, prompting them to tell stories that entertain and instruct. Walking is creative catalyst. Walking is flow. Walking can also be solitude. It is the quiet of a mind that has been lulled to peace, perhaps even to exhaustion, by the repetitive step, step, step of all-day motion. In solitude, in nature, or in the city, after a day of walking, we discover places that cannot otherwise be reached. In Tracks, Robyn Davidson describes finding such a place as she makes camp one evening. Night calls and leaf sighs floated down to me on the breeze, and around me was a cathedral of black and silver giant ghost gums, the thin sliver of platinum moon cradled in their branches. The heart of the world had been found. She was, as Baudelaire has it, away from home, yet feeling herself everywhere at home. In Wild, the places that Cheryl Strayed describes reaching by walking are not all physical. That was my father, she writes, the man who hadn't fathered me. It amazed me every time, again and again and again. Of all the wild things, his failure to love me the way he should have had always been the wildest thing of all. But on that night, as I gazed out over the darkening land 50-some miles out on the PCT, it occurred to me that I didn't have to be amazed by him anymore. There were so many other amazing things in this world. They opened up inside me like a river. Like I didn't know I could take a breath, and then I breathed. The simple act of walking in solitude opens up whole landscapes inside of Strayed. Places where there's fresh air to fill her lungs and streams of mountain air for drinking. This is the heart of the world that Davidson found in the Australian bush, the center of the world, which Baudelaire's flaneur sees in the faces of Paris's busy crowds. Walking builds a bridge between the physical and the spiritual. As April Mattis describes in Girl in the Woods, after setting out for her own solo hike of the PCT, watching the soft blue peaks recede, the dark trees streak past, I felt so different than who I'd been down at the California border with Mexico. I occupied my body. In the essay Walking, Thoreau calls a walk in the woods a sacred pilgrimage, an act of sauntering toward the Holy Land. In Virginia Woolf's Mrs. Dalloway, her character's stroll through the streets is a conduit for a stream of consciousness, a fluid flow through memory, thought, and physical sensation. Here, the rhythm of walking mirrors the rhythm of the mind. The characters' inner lives unfold in harmony with their movement. The enduring figure of the literary walker, writer and character alike, reminds us that to walk is not simply to move forward through space. It is to be away from home, yet feel oneself everywhere at home. It is to find the rhythm that lets us tell our stories.